Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over absolutely everything that you guys need to know about running Facebook ads in 2026. Now this is from somebody who spent over $1 million of their personal money on Facebook ads. Okay, now I've tried almost every single strategy out there that you could possibly ever think of, that every single YouTuber has ever said. And I'm going to explain to you in this video exactly what you need to do and what works the best right now when it comes to Facebook ads. Okay, now as you can see from these two screenshots, this is just a little bit of proof that I've done a lot of testing running Facebook ads. Okay, so why should you actually run Facebook ads? Well, Facebook ads is the most scalable ad channel. Now, this is comparable to TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, Pinterest ads, all these other different marketing channels that you potentially go into. Facebook ads is number one, and that's what's working the best for us right now across every single one of our businesses. Now, majority of the D2C brands actually spend 75% or more of their marketing budget on Meta ads. So this just shows you that most of the big e-commerce brands out there are really flowing a lot of their advertising budget into Meta. And in turn, they're doing that because it gives you the best return right now. And Meta ads are highly consistent, unlike some other platforms that are very inconsistent, such as TikTok ads. One day you might be at a 3x return on your money, and the next day you might actually be negative. So once you have something working on Facebook ads, you can typically have it running for months with only minimal changes. So you just really need to figure out something that works once, and then you can slowly optimize from there. Okay, let's dive into a little bit on paper how you're actually going to set up a testing or scaling campaign. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go into the ads manager with you guys and set up a campaign that we talked about right here with you guys there. So you guys can follow along there, but just for now, just listen and try and get the idea and kind of theory of the actual campaign structure here. A couple notes: we want 3 image and videos per asset. So that's basically right here, like this is 3. And then top 4 countries. So these are US, CA, so Canada, the UK, and Australia. So these are the top 4 English speaking countries, and also all first world countries. So the citizens definitely have enough money to actually be able to buy your products. Then we're gonna want to spend $10 to $20 minimum per ad set. But since we're running a CBO right here, if you don't already know what a CBO is it basically allows Facebook to distribute the budget across all these ad sets where it sees fit, where Facebook thinks it'll get the best return. And then we're gonna want to run broad and advantage plus targeting. So again, if you're confused and don't know what these things are, just bear with me here because I will set up all of this with you in just a few minutes. But I just kind of want to go over this so you guys have something to refer to maybe after the video when you're setting up your campaign yourself. Okay, so then in one CBO, so one campaign right here, we're going to have our 4 ad sets. And then in each ad set, we're going to want to have our 3 different video ad creatives. Now these 3 different video ad creatives can be pretty similar to each other, but in every different ad set, they want to be fairly different. So for instance, if we're selling some sort of stuffed animal product, this one could be marketed towards girlfriends. This one could be ads marketed towards kids. This one could maybe be marketed towards anxiety. And this one could maybe be marketed towards just a cool stuffy, okay? So each of these kind of have different either marketing angles or different audiences as a whole in each different ad set there. So the next super important thing that you need to be aware of when you're running advertisements is how do you find your break-even ROAS? And for you guys who don't know what ROAS is, it means return on ad spend. When you put $1 into Facebook, right? How much money are you getting back from Facebook? So if you say you got $3 back for every dollar you spent, then you'd have a 3 ROAS here. Now say you put in $1 and only got 80 cents back, well, you would have a 0.8 ROAS. Okay, so it's a pretty easy calculation, and it basically just means for every dollar you spend on ads, how many dollars are you making in sales? So this is probably the most important metric that you want to figure out is what your break-even ROAS is. And it's just a pretty simple calculation based off of what your product price is and how much you actually source your product for. So your profit margin is equal to profit times 100, obviously divided by your total sale price. So you can just do that. So for an example, if your product cost of goods sold, that's what COGS means, is $10, then your sale price is $20. Your profit margin would obviously be 20, right? Because 30 minus 10 is equal to 20. So $20 right here is our profit margin. Then times 100, which is right there. Then divided by the total sale price, which is 30, right? Because that's our sale price right here. So basically how much we're selling the price to the customer. So that basically means we're at a 66.6% profit percentage. So our break-even ROAS is 1 divided by our profit margin here. So we just took 1 divided by our calculation that we just did right here. So that's where this number is being pulled from. And that gives us a 0.015 or a 1.5 break-even ROAS, okay? So that essentially means when we are running ads, we need to minimum put $1 into Facebook and get at least $1.50 for every dollar we spend. So say we spend $100 a day on Facebook ads, right? For us to break even on actually running our business, we need to make $150 on sales. And say anything more than that, we're making profit, right? So say we can actually use this calculation again. Say we put $100 into ads and we get $200 back, and our break-even ROAS was 1.5. That gives us $50 extra times our profit margin, which is 66.66, which will give us around $33 in total profit that day. Okay, so that's essentially what you want to look for in a super easy calculation that you guys want to do. And if this is confusing to you and you're like, man, I suck at math, I don't want to do all this, literally just go into Google and look up break-even ROAS calculator and just punch in all your numbers. There's tons of free ones out there that you guys can use. Moving on to the next thing is KPIs. Now this is the most important thing that you need to start looking at when you're actually analyzing your ads, because it's all scientific, it's all mathematical, right? And you can really get a lot of insights from these different sort of KPIs that you have that Facebook gives you. So you can really optimize your campaigns. You can say, okay, just based off the metrics, you can say, okay, well, maybe my CPC or cost per click is very high. All right, well, that means I need to make new ads, okay? So these are basically the KPIs that you want to look for in the first 1 to 2 days of testing your product. Now, obviously, it's slightly dependent on the product price. So more expensive product will have higher, KPIs. And CPM is also another kind of thing that we'll dive into there. But just wanted to have this disclaimer here that if you're selling a product for maybe $500, these KPIs may not be too relevant for you. Okay, so CPC, which is cost per click, right? Cost per click should be around 75 cents to $1.35 USD. Now all these are in USD. If you're in a different currency, you can obviously just do the exchange for the currency. So that's basically what cost per click is, and that's what the numbers that you want to be in. If you are even below this, it's even great. Like I've had products where I've had a 30-cent cost per click and they've absolutely printed money. So if you're below that, amazing. But this is kind of the top range that you want to be in here. CPM, which is essentially a soft metric because you actually can't directly control this metric. But in a nutshell, it's just dependent on how many people are actually spending money and how competitive your niche is that you're advertising in, okay? So we're just looking for sub $100 here. Now, CTR is your click-through rate, right? So for every 100 people who sees your ad, how many people are actually clicking on it, okay? So now this metric will tell you how good your ads are, okay? If your ads are very good, you'll have a high click-through rate, could even be 5% plus. But if your ads are really bad, it'll be less than 1% here, okay? It'll be lower than that. So that really just tells you how engaging and how interested are people in your actual advertisements. And your ROAS, obviously, is another metric that Facebook gives you, and just make sure that's above your break-even ROAS. Okay, now we made this like little flow chart, and if you're feeling overwhelmed already, like trust me, this may seem complicated, but when we actually go and set it up, it's a 5-minute process to set all this up, okay? So if you feel overwhelmed and you feel like this is too complicated for you right now, seriously, bear with me and re-watch this video, because I promise you, after seeing this once or twice, it'll become super, super easy to you. And it's really the exact same thing over and over and over again with different products, scaling, whatever. Okay? So this may look complicated, but trust me, it's very simple once you get the understand. And I made this to try and outline it so you guys can have actually a visual for how campaigns are set up. So this part right here, up until here, we went over above. So we'll just kind of move on from that. So first 2 to 3 days, profitable / break even sales. This is kind of a checklist for you guys to go through. Is it profitable, or are you break even? Do you have any sales come through? Do you have a sub $1 CPC, 1.5 CTR? What's your CPM like? Okay. If it's not profitable, you can do a few different things here. You can test new creatives. So that basically means changing out these videos. Okay. So you can do that, or you could totally move on to a new product. If your metrics are very, very bad, like just awful, then I would recommend moving on to a new product, especially if you think your creatives are half decent already. Now, you could test a different offer, make changes to the product page. So this key right here is really if you have good ad metrics, okay? Say all of these are in the KPIs. You have sub $1 CPC, you have a higher than 1.5 CTR, you have a higher, your CPM is between $25 and $45 or less than 100, right? And you may be wondering, wow, all of my ad metrics are matching these great KPIs of a winning product, right? So that means your ads are very good. You're doing well on the ad side of things. But what is missing? Your offer or your product page, okay? So this essentially means people are getting to your offer or product page and are saying, man, this thing's way too expensive. Or, hey, this thing actually wasn't what I thought it was. Or, hey, maybe I'll think about it. So that's when you actually need to change your landing page or your offer. Now, what do I mean by offer? I mean, are you running 50% off? Are you running a BOGO sale? Are you running a free gift? Whatever it is, you want to test out some different offers here, okay? Now, that's what happens if you are not profitable. So that's what we don't want to be. But say we are profitable and we're making a bit of money, or even we could be break even here. Okay, these are the two things that you should do. Increase budget on campaign ad sets every day if KPIs are hit. So you'll notice in your one campaign right here, you have your 4 different ad sets. You know, realistically, this ad set, say you're spending $100 a day, this is what you'll likely see. This ad set maybe isn't very good. You're only spending $2 a day. Okay, this ad set, you're spending $21 a day. This ad set, you're spending, say, $7 a day. And then this ad set, you're spending $70. Okay, so you're spending a total of $100. You have all these different daily spend per ad budget. Okay, now say this ad set is just absolutely flopping. It's just doing awful. Well, turn that off. Like, just turn it off. It's done. And then the spend will be redirected likely to that one. These ones that aren't spending much, or say this one has spent $7, got one sale, just leave it on, just let it spend. Facebook will optimize. But this one's really your main moneymaker. Check out these videos there and see if you can, add some new videos that are very similar to that one. But really all you're doing is you're upping this budget by 10 to 20% every day that you're profitable, okay? Then here we have another thing. All right, are the KPIs hit? Yes, increase budget, done, wait 1 to 2 days, then back, are KPIs hit? Yes, increase budget. You guys get kind of the gist of it. Just literally, you're just increasing budget if metrics are good. If KPIs are not hit, no, this is what you do. First bad day, maybe. Sometimes Facebook does have bad days, and sometimes your campaigns do have bad days. Wait 1 to 2 days, then reevaluate again, are your KPIs hit? If your KPIs are not hit by 2 to 3 days, basically you're losing money for 2 to 3 days in a row, decrease the budget back to 20%, wait 1 to 2 days, reevaluate again. So Facebook is really based off of data, and sometimes Facebook will test different audiences that they may think do well one entire day. And you may not make a lot of money that day, or you may even lose money. That doesn't mean that your product died out or it's done, whatever. It could just be a bad day on Facebook. You really need to look at this over a 2 to 3 day period, or even a week period long, to really get a good understanding of what you're seeing. Here's just some more like little things here. We'll just kind of speed through it just because I went through a lot of basically stuff up here. But knowing how to read data is really kind of the most important thing. So let's go over some key metrics that you should be looking at. If your cost per click is high, 95% of the time just means your ads or product just sucks. So if you feel like your ads are not good, try and make some new ones. If you feel like your ads are very good, it might just be your product sucks, no one likes it, not many people are clicking on it. Okay, if your CPM is really high, sometimes you might see some crazy ones of like $200 or something, or even 100 plus. Those are usually pretty crazy CPMs. That usually just means that your ads or your product is in a really competitive industry, or they're very, very bad and low quality. Now, if you feel like they're good ads, higher quality, then usually just means that's a very competitive industry. Usually these are like any sort of health industries have a very high CPM. So like any sort of red light or supplements or anything like that usually have a very high CPM. Like it's usually within $200 to $100. Now, if your click-through rate is really low, then that literally just means that your ads suck and your ad hook sucks, or again, your product might just suck and nobody really cares about it. But the large majority of the time, if you aren't getting sales and seeing poor metrics, it's because your product or ads simply aren't that great. And sometimes you can't really do much about that. But sometimes the issue isn't with the ads, but with your landing page or offer. And we kind of went over that a little bit over here on when you should look to change a new offer. If your soft metrics on your ads look really good, but you're not converting anyone, the issue is likely on your offer or landing page, as we went over before. But this video isn't about that. So let's go over a few situations that you might actually encounter when you're running Facebook ads, okay? So these might be something that you see. So in this example right here, that some of the sales were generated, but the main issue with this product test was the CPC. Because look, if we take a look at the CPC, 53, $1.69, $2.30, $1.96, cost per action per click, link click here was on average $1.76. So that is above our threshold, meaning it's too high. And this basically means the ads or the product were just not resonating with the customers that were seeing it. Okay, so that's what basically that meant right there. And we could see our CPM right there, we could see our CPC and our CTR, right? The three metrics that we've been talking about. So example number 2 here, you can see that CPM was given insanely high, meaning that the product being tested was just in a very competitive niche. So as you can see, that really drove up the CPC, and the CPM here on average was $93, which is extremely high. Some ad sets even $125 or $155. And you can see on this, ad set right here, the cost per click was $12, which is absurd, or even here $5, just absolutely absurd. Okay, so that basically is what that meant there. And last example here, this is a good example of a product test. You can see all the metrics are within KPI, and the ROAS is quite healthy as well, especially for first day. This is what a profitable product test looks like, and this is what you guys are gonna be looking for when you're actually running your product test, okay? See our CPM, $17, amazing. Our cost per click, only $1. Our click-through rate, above 1.5, so it's a 1.7. And our purchase ROAS was 2.3. So obviously in our calculations, that was above our break-even ROAS. Okay, so 99% of the success from Facebook comes down to the work that you do outside of the ad account. It all comes down to the product that you pick, the ads you run, and the offer and landing page that you set up. If you aren't seeing profitable results with your Facebook ads, it's very likely that the issue is one of these 3 things, okay? And if you take anything away from this video, make sure that it's that. It's really product you pick, the ads you actually run, so the actual videos, and the offer and landing page you set up. Those are the only variables when it comes to Facebook ads that you really need to think about, okay? So now let's jump right into the ads manager. I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to set up this exact campaign structure that we went over here, so you guys can really just hit the ground running and launch your test campaign setup here. So we're in the Facebook Ads Manager now. I'm assuming you guys already are able to get this set up and you're able to get your pixel set up. If not, there's tons of YouTube videos out there, but I'm not gonna go over it in this video. So we're just gonna click come over here, click create, and then we're obviously gonna want to choose sales, click continue here, and it's gonna load us up here. So this right here is essentially our campaign. So this is this part right here, right, from our spreadsheet. And then this right here is an ad set. So these are gonna be these 4 things right here. And then this right here below it is our ads. So we're just gonna want to have 3 of those, okay? So let's start with the campaign. We're always gonna want to name our campaign, so we'll just name it test 1. And then we are going to want to keep this off, Advantage Plus Catalog ads. We do not want to run that. we're going to set the budget to $100. Okay. And then we can leave all of this alone here. So if you click more settings, don't worry about any of this stuff. Then we can just click next on the bottom right there. Okay, now we're gonna want to name our ad set. So we'll just name this one like angle 1. Say we're running some different angles. Website location, website, yes, yes, and then data. We'll just add a random pixel that I have here. Conversion event, you're gonna want to optimize for purchase. All of these other things, do not worry about, just leave them on the standard there. Start date, we're gonna want to start it for the next day, starting at 12:01 a.m. So it starts for the very first day. If you're currently like watching this and setting up your ads at say like 2 p.m. one day, start it starting midnight the next day. Never start at midday because it always just performs very, very bad. Okay, then we're gonna scroll down here. Locations, United States, Canada, the big four that we mentioned before, United Kingdom, and Australia. Boom, done, just like that. And then select an audience. We're not gonna do anything here. We can add suggestions here, like say your product is only for women, like it's a makeup product, then you'd wanna change it to women or something like that. Or say it's like an old person product, you might wanna change the age range to 40, but for this example, we're just gonna leave it on all there. So that's how you can change that. And then we're just gonna scroll down and literally just leave all of this stuff alone. Then we're gonna click next, select our Facebook page, for branding that we've created, or you can, actually create one directly from here. And then we're just gonna name this like ad 1, for example. Scroll down, keep scrolling, destination website, www.yourwebsite.com. So that's where you put your website URL right there. Then add creative, you just click set up creative, video ad, and then you can next on this, you don't really wanna do anything. Media, you select your video. So I'm just gonna select this random one right here that we had, that was old one, skip. Next, text. Now this is your primary text, your headline, and your description. If you really wanted to, send ChatGPT your product, get it to write you 3 of these, and literally just copy and paste in there. So fill those out. Enhancements, you can just leave all this on and just click done. So now you literally have all of this, your text would be filled out if you did it with GPT. And then you're literally just gonna wanna come up here, click this, quickly duplicate once, twice, all right? And then in your duplicated ads, you're gonna wanna scroll down here, edit media, change the video. In the media, change the video to your next ad creative here, next, done. And then change the name on this one to ad 2, okay? And then do the same for this one. So we'll just do this for example, ad 3, scroll down, change the video, done. And then that's one ad set complete. So now we're just gonna wanna go here, quickly duplicate, come back in, change this, angle 2, change the ad, go back to the ad number 4, scroll down, keep the same text and everything, edit media, change video, you get the gist of it, do that for this one and this one, then come back up here, quickly duplicate again, and then change these 3 videos, come back up, quickly duplicate again, change these 3 videos, and then click publish. And that's literally it, guys. That's all you need to know when setting up a Facebook ads campaign in 2026. Now, if you are feeling overwhelmed, I promise you, you will get this stuff, rewatch the video, and re-go through and actually try to set up a campaign for yourself, because trust me, it gets so much easier after the first time that you've done it. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is to really check these metrics and really actually have a good understanding on what these metrics are actually telling you and what to do when you're in a certain position where you see these metrics are very good or a certain metric is very bad. You know what optimizations and what changes you need to make either to your ads or your product as a whole. Okay, so that's all when it comes to running Facebook ads in 2026. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave a link down below in the description, or leave a comment on this video and I'll be sure to get back to each and every single one of you. That's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like and hit that subscribe button. If you guys want more content, I'll be posting a lot more on this YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.